This is the Reds Down Under podcast, the best place to follow the Reds in Australia. Enjoy the show.
We are the Reds Down Under, and this is our podcast.
Right, here we are, Reds. I'm with Adamo, and we're buzzing, mate, because Liverpool have, we've won.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for that. We put we washed off that stench. That's what that felt like of that PSV game, which I tried to get it like out of my memory. And then you mentioned just before we started that you want to speak about it. So now I've just got to dig it back up. But that was much needed. It felt more comfortable than maybe what it was. And I think there were certain moments in there which were same story that we've seen all season, which I thought Florian Wirtz was really good. I thought he could have maybe had 2 or 3 assists. I thought he could have had 2 or 3 goals. But it was a win, and it was what we needed. And, I mean, we've been a train wreck this season, but West Ham are a circus. Like, even that Lucas Paqueta double card scenario, like, he's never beating the allegations. You know, I know, he's not guilty, isn't he? But when I saw that, I'm like, the evidence is pretty incriminating.
Well, you know what, man? I don't know what to say about that, except I wonder what the odds were on Lucas Paqueta getting a red card this morning. So, look, we will touch on that PSV game because it was mighty disappointing, wasn't it, mate? Let's be honest. It was absolutely fucking shocking. Then we get to talk about the West Ham game.
Okay, let's do that.
Which will be good. We're going to talk to Adam about his career. So he does lots of TV stuff, lots of content stuff. You might have seen him on Opta Sport, SBS.
Yeah, doing some stuff at the moment. SBS, the Australian Championship. I was at Opta Sport before. Got to live out my dream. That went to Anfield, courtesy of them.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah,
That's all.
I'll leave it at that.
Come back to that. All right. We'll come back to that, and then we'll look ahead because we got a couple of big games coming up, and to be honest, I think very winnable games coming up against Sunderland and Leeds United at Ellen Road, which is always tricky. And then we'll finish off with some Reds trivia, as we always do. And if you hold on right to the very end of the episode, I'm going to drop in a little segment of our George Sephton interview.
Ooh,
Yeah.
lovely. Yeah, you got to tease them.
Going to tease it out.
Yeah.
Going to tease it out. And that podcast is due to come out to the public next Tuesday. But if you want early access to that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a post on Instagram. And if you comment on the post, I'll DM you the link.
Beautiful. Simple.
Bob's your uncle. All right, PSV. Adamo. On the list of worst Liverpool performances that you've ever seen, where does that one feature for you?
Oh my God, it was diabolical. Your story post that summed it up, where I could just sense the anguish. So you were speechless, and so was I. Like, where do you begin? Like, we get pantsed at home to Forest. So you're thinking, okay, we're going to respond. And PSV are a good side. They dismantled Napoli. They're not shit kickers, excuse my language, but that was terrible. Everything about it, toothless. Midfield was a revolving door. Defense was in shambles. Van Dijk looked like the Tin Man. Every possible thing that could have gone wrong. And you're watching that thinking, okay, we're going to respond. Then it got to that stage 2, 3, you're like, oh no, this is the same shit that we've been watching all season, majority of the season anyway. It was an absolute, in terms of worst home loss, it was diabolical. I'm thinking worst. I'm thinking of the worst I've ever seen. Now, there's a special league of its own for Chelsea at home 2014. I don't think nothing will ever top that in terms of worst I've seen, just how heartbreaking that was.
But we weren't bad that day.
No, exactly. That was just heartbreaking. But this one was puzzling. Like, remember we had that COVID era, the COVID where we lost 5 in a row, but that almost doesn't count because there was no crowd. It was a very strange season. I cannot put my finger on a worse, more like soulless performance than that. Like, no answer, none. It was nothing. There was no, like, I'm trying to think on the top of my head what was a bright spot in that. You know, sometimes even games get away from you. You poor players forward. You cop a goal in the counter. One of those games. You know, we had our moments. God, man, very easily we could have won that. It was just shit. It was diabolical. Diabolical. It's the only thing I can think of. It was absolutely horrendous. And it was another level of the Forest game 3 days before or 4 days before.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was like compounded, wasn't it? It was like what really is annoying me is, and thank God, we get to talk about a great win there today. But we've been given crazy goals away, man. Crazy goals away. Van Dijk putting his hand up in the air in that situation in the box is such a Van Dijk, like, I'm Van Dijk and I'll get this foul move. It is, man. It is. Like, it's like, it's a privilege thing of, like, I am the best defender in the world and I'm getting a tug, so I'm just gonna throw my hand up in the air. It was a crazy decision, because if Kirkes had done that, he would have been raked over the coals for that. And for some reason, I keep my eye out on social media. Virgil van Dijk seemed to get away with that. The second goal, Kirkes is 5 yards deeper than Van Dijk. But Van Dijk is 5 yards deeper than Kanate. I've never seen an offside line on a diagonal on a 40-degree angle before. Right?
Yeah.
And then Kanate did what, he tried to clear that ball, and he's just having a shocker, man. Like, where was your head at with that? Like, irrelevant of how the result went today, because it was, it was great, wasn't it? Where's your head at with Slot?
I think Slot, look, what he did transitioning from, we go from Klopp to Slot, was incredible. And I think because he was so incredible, he got to bypass certain privileges of any new foreign manager or any manager, but particularly foreign ones at massive clubs, which is they get put under pressure. And I think just slowly, I don't know, everything, he's now under the cosh, like he's under the microscope, and he evaded the microscope completely. Everyone was, Jurgen who? I forgot it. It was so seamless, the transition. It couldn't have gone any better. He is now, it's obviously a decision above him, but we've assembled a Frankenstein of a team. That's honestly what it is, because it seems like doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. It seems like our best 11, and this is now just without what happened this morning, but whenever you watch a play, it's like, oh God, our team looks the best, and it's the elephant in the room when the two players we spent £310 million aren't in the squad. So, and then he said it this morning, he said, I'm doomed if I play this player and not this player, but I think the chat of him going mid-season is absolutely ridiculous. He has earned, in my opinion, the only thing I could see him getting punted is if we didn't qualify for the next round of Champions League. It was almost impossible now with the new league phase. We're through, theoretically. And if we were something like 12th and we were nowhere near the top four, but then it's the same thing. Okay, who do you bring in? Do we bring in an Iraola? Do we bring in... I don't think there's that cracker candidate out there, in my opinion, where you would go, like, where you would even rush the process. So Slot now has this Frankenstein of a team. I like Slot. I think the influence he's had on this team, you can't use the lazy argument, it's Jurgen Klopp's team, because look at the influence he's had on Szoboszlai this season. Look at the influence he had on Gravenberch. Look at the influence he's had on Stages. He's very hot and cold this season, but on Cody Gakpo. So I think you can see his influence in the team. But I think now we're almost the victim of this massive summer signing spree that we've had, and I've used this word a few times, but we've assembled a Frankenstein of a team, and he's now got to get us out. I feel like we have too much quality. So to give you the summation of your question, I'm a Arnie Slot fan, and I think we will see this out because I think we have too much quality on the field. But you're right. Some of the goals that we concede are even this morning. I'm jumping ahead a bit, but that Jarrod Bowen, Jarrod Bowen scores that 8 times out of 10. And if he scores that again, you're thinking, how on earth do we concede a goal like that? Just absolute skerfuffle that falls to him. Jurgen, I don't know why I have Jurgen on my brain. Virgil is throwing his arms up the second he's taken the shot. He's probably thinking it's deja vu again. We've conceded another rubbish goal. But you're right. Just everything about us that has become characteristics of great Liverpool sides, really solid defensively, resilient, have all been unraveled this season, and we're a calamity at the back. We concede absolutely shocking goals that you would see, you're right, from teams that are towards the bottom of the table. It's hard to wrap your head around, to be honest. There's so many things, like when I watch us and I just think, wow, What is going on? It's hard to pinpoint one.
Mate, it is. It is. And, you know, I did that video after I don't know if anyone's seen it, but I did the video after the PSV game. And that was just genuinely how I felt, man. Like, I like to try and be an optimist. I really do. I think being an optimist is part of being a Liverpool fan. But man, I felt so dejected. I really did. But look, we're doing okay in the Champions League. We've still got games that you would expect us to go and have a crack at. But what I would say to Liverpool fans out there and our listeners is this, right? Fucking perk yourselves up a little bit, right? I know it's been hard. I know it's been difficult. But, like, it's par for the course. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't all just get to be buzzing when we win.
No.
And it's okay to be dejected when we lose, but, like, let's back the manager, let's back the team, because they wear our badge.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think look, you have every right. And I think this is, you know what? I think a lot of the noise about slot out, it doesn't actually come from Liverpool fans, because I'm sure you probably have, but a lot of the Liverpool fans I speak to say the same thing, which is the results are terrible. We need a change. But really, what are we going to do? Sack him in February? Then what? Right off the season. Then new manager comes in. Totally new style. He brings in his new players. Then we almost revert back into a rebuild. So I think Liverpool fans know that, and as you said, when you really look at it, like look at the next 2 games we've got coming up. We almost had a period like that when we beat Real Madrid. Remember we had that period, and then you almost go, okay, we're back in the top 4 just like that. So these are I'm not going to call them dark times. It's maybe not that dramatic, but these are very worrying times. We've had much darker times, though. You were talking about home losses. Now I'm starting to think of some Roy Hodgson home defeats, Blackpool. Maybe that felt a little bit more, in October. I think we're in the relegation zone. Those maybe, I was a young teenager during those ones, but I remember being pretty worried back then. Those were more worrying. But you're right, for the money that we've spent, this is very, very concerning. And you're right, conceding, I think that's probably the most concerning part is the nature. Like, I know they said bad football is contagious, and it's one thing for Kanate to look shaky, it's one thing for Kirkesh to look shaky, but for Virgil van Dijk looking very. And what the funniest thing was is he had in the press conference right before that Champions League game, he said we need to go back to basics, and then he just opens up with a basketball alley-oop, like the most ridiculous. You're right, Virgil van Dijk thing to do, the absolute opposite of what he preached pre-game. But we started. This morning was nice.
It was nice. And I tell you what, I'll give a little bit of kudos to the boss a little bit later when we talk about that West Ham game, because I think he made a really important tactical change in 2 positions, which I think won us the game. Let's have a quick break here, right now where we are, so I can go to the loo.
Do you think, bro?
And then when we come back, we'll be speaking to Adamo about his glittering career. Reds, if you're watching this podcast, thank you so much. Please do keep supporting us. Give us a like, a subscribe, and all that sort of caper. It means that we can get guests like George Sephton and Chris Kirkland and Abby Rudkin. The bigger we get, literally, the sky's the limit for us, and hopefully one day we'll have the man himself, Stevie G, on this podcast, but we'll see. Here's what we've got coming up for the rest of the show. Go on, let's play Would Tom Boo Them?
Raheem Sterling.
I did boo them, yeah.
Yep. Luis Suarez.
I did boo him, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Martin Kelly.
Never.
My boss comes up to me, he's like, hey man, would you be keen to go to Anfield? I'm like, are you joking?
Yeah.
I'll swim there. I'll swim there and work for free. They're like, yep, we're going to send you there. You're going to go for the trophy parade and just shoot a whole bunch of content for us and enjoy the game as well. I'm like, dream come true. I couldn't believe it.
Okay, before Kirkesh and Szoboszlai, who was the last Hungarian to play for LFC? I would like to acknowledge for our YouTube listeners that we are aware that we are both wearing the same Liverpool top today. So,
well, I was wondering why I buzzed in for you to let me in, and you were laughing on the intercom, and I'm like, is this a practical joke? Or maybe there was no potty and this is all part of a prank. And then I realized when I walked in, we've worn the same kit, but it's a beautiful kit. Yeah. So why wouldn't you? Because Liverpool in green is like a match made in heaven. It's just perfection.
Well, that was my first kit, was the green and white checkers in 96, I think it was. Beautiful kit. I'm trying to get older one, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've got a very weird obsession with do you remember 2006-07? was white, green. When we beat Barcelona at the Nou Camp, and Craig Bellamy scored and did the golf celebration, and John Arisa scored as well. Well, I just remember that game vividly. I was 10, and I remember thinking we're going to get smashed. We're playing Barcelona, and we won. And I remember just being in awe of this team, and particularly Craig Bellamy and that celebration. So for some reason, I've always wanted that kit with Craig Bellamy on the back, and I found it on eBay. I was so excited. It came from Poland, and I spent a lot of money on it. I spent $250 on it, and it came back and it was fake. The numbers were wonky. It was a complete dud. I was so upset. So if anyone knows where I can get the 2006-7 third jersey, Craig Bellamy on the back. It's so niche, but I will get that jersey, Tom. I will.
I hope you do. I was at that game.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, me and my dad.
At the Nou Camp.
Yeah. So,
oh man, I remember that game vividly.
It was crazy.
Wow.
I think I've told this story on the pod before, but so I was 17 and we were there. We were in a big pub outside the ground where everyone's having a drink. It was amazing. And we're like, right, come on, we'll go down to the ground. We were actually sat in the home end and there was like 3,000 Reds in the home end. It was crazy. But we're walking down to the ground and I look to my right and there's a bus, a coach. I'm like, why is that it was like a Barcelona coach. I was like, why is that there? And then out of nowhere, these fellas put down these barriers in front of us and blocked us off. And the next thing, Ronaldinho walks past.
Oy.
Deco,
Oh,
Eto'o,
wow.
Messi. They were all there. They were like,
Unbelievable.
I don't know, 2 meters away or something. It was amazing. And then we were in the home end and Barca scored the first, didn't they?
Deco scored, yeah.
Yeah, Barca scored the first. And then where we were, the away end, is like a little tier up and there's like netting there. But a couple of the lads had already jumped up and Scousers had teared the netting up. And the Liverpool fans literally pulled us up into the next tier. And we watched the rest of the game with the away fans, which was amazing.
Oh, that is so good.
Man,
Oh, man.
it was amazing. It was amazing. So thank you, Dan, for taking me there.
Oh, what a cool memory. That is incredible.
Well, you've got a really cool memory.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, you've got a really cool story.
Oh, I thought you meant like remembering that game. No.
You've got quite a cool story. So let's touch on what do you do for work?
Okay, so at the moment I'm freelancing at the moment, really. So I consider myself like a football presenter. I don't really like using the word journalist because I'm not a journalist. I've never written an article in my life. Journalism not really for me. But I do video. Like I make videos. Like I guess it's video storytelling, which I know is kind of like journalism. But I'm a presenter. So I went to uni. I did journalism. I thought I wanted to be a journalist because I was always good at talking and writing. Got 2 weeks into my journalism degree. I'm like, this is not for me. Writing about people's personal lives, just not for me. Didn't interest me one bit. Get to them the last year of my degree and we start doing, Adobe Premiere, presenting, like video courses. I'm like, this is really, really cool. I really enjoy this. So then finished my degree. I was a little bit lost. And at the end, very good friend of mine, one of my best mates, his brother had just lived in Manchester. He worked for a company called Sporf and Social Chain. He came back and he's like, you boys, like me and all my friends were all massive football fans and we're very loud and, enthusiastic and theatrical. And he's like, you guys should just do something and put it on camera. We're like, okay, well, we'll make a comedy page. So me and 6 of my other best mates, we made a comedy page and it did quite well. We got across, this was pre-TikTok as well. This is in 2018. So and then TikTok came and we were on there too. But TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, we got about 100,000 cross-platform making comedy videos. Some of them a little bit dicey. Pre-cancel culture, some of them were, like this is comedy, it's comedy. And the good thing is we made fun of everyone. So
Let's find the videos,
so good thing is they're gone. They're gone. But anyway, what that did do is that gave me that confidence in front of camera and it kind of told me gave me an avenue of what I really want to do. And during that time, my friend Claudio is a very prominent football presenter in Australia, the best one. Him and I were like, let's start doing some more football stuff. So we made a couple football pages and then from that we got approached by beIN Sports to do a La Liga special. They're like, we just have a 30-minute slot on TV for El Clasico. What can you do? And we thought of this great idea where we're going to do it in a barber shop. We had an AFL player who's a massive football fan, a Spaniard who was playing in the MPL. So that was the Spanish angle. And we had all these segments. And my segment was, I was playing FIFA with Josh Mansour, who's a rugby league player. He's also a massive Real Madrid fan. He's a massive football fan in general. And him and I were going to play FIFA. We compiled this 30-minute special. We're so excited. This is our first crack on TV. Me and my friend Claudio, we're 22 at this stage. We are so excited. Him, his brother, their other business partner, we're all going out. We're gonna go to Goro's. We're gonna go to drinks. And we're in the taxi. We're so excited. You know, our special's going to air this weekend. And we get a message. Boom, boom. El Clasico for the first time in 70 years has been postponed because of political unrest in Catalonia. And me and my friend look at each other like, maybe it's just not meant to be. Maybe like something like that happens. Is that a sign from above that it is not meant to be for you in media? So we just get there. And it went from a night of celebrations to drowning our sorrows. We're just there. Literally like 4 of us, you just flat, sad, and we're just like, well, we may as well just drink because we're here. So we did. Thankfully, they said, no, look, guys, we will, when it's rescheduled, we will run your special. I ended up going from, I think, October to December. My piece didn't have to be touched because it was a game of FIFA, so it was timeless. And then from then, that they really, really liked it. COVID happened, the first lockdown. And Bean says to us, what are we going to do? We have all of this empty TV space and no football. So we pitched them an idea. Their main league that they had, that they put the most like effort and marketing into is La Liga because of El Clasico. So we're like, okay, there's 6 rounds to go in the season. Why don't we simulate La Liga on FIFA and we'll do a round by round, like each round is an episode, simulation like around the ground. So, you know, when they go to Jeff, and we got so into it and it was all fake. It was honestly brilliant. So we're there, we would be pundits, you know, him and I were pundits and we were breaking out. So let's go down to the Bernabeu. There's been an upset. Espanyol have scored first, Adamo. And I'm like, yeah, unbelievable scenes here. And I'm literally just commentating and describing simulated football on FIFA. It sounds ridiculous, and it was, but I think Bean saw that and they're like, wow, you guys did that with fake football. When real football comes around, let's do something. So then that led to us. We had a weekly magazine show. We did that for a couple of years. And then my big thing was I got to go to the World Cup with SBS, which was a dream come true. That was incredible. And then came back, got a job with Optus Sport, started as like a little bit of a hybrid role. I was contracting. I was doing a bit of editing, a bit of producing, a bit of presenting. Ended up going there full time. Got to tick off so many more things on my bucket list. I got to go to Anfield for the trophy lift. I got to do so many cool things. Then unfortunately, Optus Sport is no more.
Okay.
And here I am.
All right. So there's so much to unpack here.
Yeah,
right?
sorry, I
But
gave
we've
you the
only
big...
But we've only got so long, so I'd love for you to come back and we'll delve into that
Yes,
stuff, right?
do it.
I'd love to hear about the World Cup and stuff.
Oh, incredible.
And I'm sure our listeners would. What happened with Optus Sport?
So that was a case of, to give you the short version of the story, Optus Sport and Optus, the phone company, completely different. Optus Sport, incredible, amazing people, really well run. In terms of media, not just football media, incredible, top to bottom. Optus Syntel, absolute, just imagine the company form of Liverpool's loss to PSV. That's Optus Syntel, the phone company. Just an absolute shit show of a place. So before I got there, they had got in trouble for the data breach. Then when I was there for the power outage, when they were responsible for thousands and thousands of people losing power. Disaster. Yeah. Then they got in trouble for another one, unethical business practices. I think they were hooking up people in disadvantaged areas and people with disabilities with phone plans, like real fucking evil stuff. And the Ethics Commission, or whatever they're called, were going to give them a huge fine in the millions. And they knew the fine was coming, so they said, we need to generate cash. Okay, well, where are we spending money? The Premier League rights. Here's the thing that is just mind-blowing, and even, so they spend 100 million a season on the Premier League rights, which sounds like a lot of money, but in terms of YouTube revenue, ad revenue, social media revenue, they make that back. Mm-hmm. They ended up selling, so they gave it to Stan, and then they ended up still having to fork out 40% for it. So Stan got the deal of the century. And it's awesome because now good Optus people are going over to Stan and they're doing great things there, which is awesome. But it's mind-blowing. It's like just such a shit show. It was just such a shit show. And what made it so sad was we still had 2 years. So I think everyone was under the assumption and was like fairly comfortable with the fact that at the end of the 2 years, we're going to lose the rights. DAZN have just bought Foxtel. They're big players. Stan has, it's like a food chain. When Optus came around, they had more money than everyone. Then the big players come in and they, it's like evolution. But I think that was the sad thing, is that we still had 2 years and we had some awesome, awesome stuff planned. So to put it simply, just mismanagement.
Well, there you go, kids. There's an exclusive right there. Because, I mean, to be fair, as a customer, I've got an Optus plan. And I thought Optus Sport was great, actually. Like, the way that it would also have the punditry as well, the Premier League pundits, Michael Owen, Owen Hargreaves, Ian Wright, all that was great. Stan doesn't seem to have as much as that for whatever reason. They don't loop into that Premier League stuff. Let's talk. That's fascinating stuff, man. Thanks for sharing that.
It's okay.
It's really good, man. Cancel your Optus plan.
I'm still with Optus.
Yeah.
I'm still with them. But yeah, that's it's sad.
Yeah, it is, man. But look, hey, you've bounced back, haven't you?
Oh, thank you.
You're doing all right. You're doing all right out of it. Well, look, we will come back to that story about the trophy lift.
Yes.
But let's talk about West Ham first. Mate, it was 2 consecutive defeats for the Reds in the Premier League. And then you throw in that PSV one in there as well. Liverpool beat West Ham 2-0. The big news at the start of the game was Mo Salah was sitting on the bench. He hasn't been in great form, but were you surprised by that?
I was and I wasn't, if that makes sense. I was. It's fair play to Slot. He made the call. I think it probably needed to happen as well. It's hard. It's really hard to fathom what is going on with certain players at the moment. Long season. What happened with Diogo? You can't put into. You can't even contemplate what that would have been like for teammates. Then you throw in the added element of so many moving pieces as well. I think Mo's probably been the embodiment of our struggles. I think, it's Mo Salah we're talking about. It's one of the greatest Liverpool players ever. He's going to find the back of the net again, and he's going to find form. And I actually think Slot probably did him a favour. Get him out of the team. Get him out of the spotlight. Just give him a spell. Out of the team. The team was, good. There's still room for improvement. I was surprised, but given how he's been playing also, I think it was needed.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is with Mo is he's still a great footballer. Right?
Of course he is.
He's still a great footballer. He's still the Egyptian king in my eyes, and he's still one of the best. He's still one of the best footballers in the world. But for me, I thought that actually benching Salah was a massive. I thought it was actually a massive move of tactical brilliance from Slot, because what did he do? So he took Salah out. So there's a liability there in defending that area of the pitch anyway. Liverpool have got defensive issues at right back. Frimpong and Bradley have been out, being injured. We've had to play Szoboszlai there. Curtis Jones has played there. And it's been a weak area. And what the manager's done is he's gone, right, I'm going to go Szoboszlai in here today. He's going to run his fucking ass off for me for 90 minutes. Joey Gomez came in and was fantastic. He was solid. And I think Liverpool needed to fight against the 3-4-3 today at West Ham, because they do have wide players who will be willing to get forward. Juve on the left, Wan-Bissaka on the right. And they did try and do that. I thought Kirkes was brilliant, but I think Joe Gomez was excellent. And I think that triangle, if you like, of Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Gomez, and then really protected Kanate. I think today Kanate didn't look out of place at all.
No.
He was absolutely brilliant. How good was Wirtz?
Yeah, he was great. I think the thing with Florian Wirtz, which is such a shame, is that modern footballers now are judged so much by goals and assists. Goals, assists. You can wake up, particularly in Australia, you wake up. So, a lot of people miss the game and they'll watch a mini match or they'll watch extended highlights and then they'll flick on the game and they'll say, oh, Wirtz, what did he do? And then they'll rip up some fucking bullshit stat like XG or whatever that crap is. And then they'll say absolute rubbish. And then they'll say, oh, he didn't have a goal or assist, he was bad. And I think Wirtz man, he was pulling the strings today. He looked really, really good. And he's had games like that where it's the pass before the pass. So there was like, how many times could he have had? He could have had 2 or 3 assists today. He could have scored. And that's been, I think, maybe the story of his season a little bit, where it's been that final pass. He's been let down by great ball, puts it on a platter for someone, hits over the bar. They hit it out for a goal kick, out for a throw in. But he was brilliant today, pulling the strings, toying with them a little bit as well, and slowly looking like Florian Wirtz that we signed 120 million, what it was. But I guess that's the thing, is when you spend that money on players, you need instant gratification. But I thought he was excellent today. Excellent, pulling the strings, plays with that swagger. When he's on, he's such a good player to watch. You've seen it for his previous club, you've seen it for his country as well. So it was good to see.
Yeah, mate, he was unbelievable. He was unbelievable today. Did you get up and watch it, or did you watch it in the
No, I do. What I do in scenarios like that, especially when I got work, is 6 a.m. wake up, phone is just notifications off, and then boom, I fire it up like that.
Yeah, so it's normal. I normally do that myself.
Yeah.
But last night I just really wanted to watch it live. But so I was watching the game 1 o'clock. I thought Wirtz looked like he was on like a slalom today. Like, his touch was fantastic. He was dropping the shoulder. He was coming short, getting the ball, bouncing it back, moving on. He was dynamic. He was looking forward all the time, not just with the ball, but without the ball. He was, there was that situation where Joey Gomez played the ball down the right, and then Wirtz puts it across, and the defender did really well to cut it out from Gakpo. I thought that Wirtz really showed his class, and I think you're spot on, because I think we can all get obsessed with the stats, and the stats don't always show the influence of a player. And yeah, I thought Wirtz was absolutely magic, mate. How much pressure has that win took off our shoulders now?
Yeah, huge amount. When you think about, look, that's the beauty of this time of year, is that in a week your fortunes can change so much. But I think if we had followed up the 2 games at home with a loss today against West Ham, you can only imagine. Particularly I think the important thing, it wasn't just the fact that we won today, we looked comfortable, it was the lineup that we played as well. It was important that Kirkez, like you said, Konate looked solid. Kirkez looked one of his best games in a Liverpool shirt. Florian Wirtz looked good. Isak finally scored, which is textbook. That's the Isak we know. Just made that finish, lets it run across his body and open it up, but then hit it with so much power. That was the most important one. Because if we stunk it up today with Isak starting, Wirtz, oh my God, I could only imagine what it would have been like. So big win. But in saying that, if you message me in a week, let's message me this time next week, and I'll be able to give you an even bigger answer. But it was much needed. It was much needed as well, because we were very comfortable. And it's with a little hearty moment at the end, hearty mouth moment, I'll get it out eventually, at the end with Bowen. I mean, in another world, it could have ended 1-1, but we were very comfortable today. I think 2-0, it felt more comfortable at 1-0.
Yeah. I thought ironically, after the red card, I think West Ham really responded.
They did. Yeah, they did. It fired them up.
Yeah, credit to them. They're turning into a proper Nuno team, and there's definitely the bones of a good football team in there that could surprise a few people. All right, let's talk about the most surprising thing of the day. Was the most outrageous red card I have ever seen, mate. What happened there?
You know what's funny? I work with a West Ham fan, and he was saying he was not happy with Jared Bowen. He's like, he's a proper geezer, right? He's a proper West Ham fan. He's like, mate, not proper captain right there. Should be pulling him away and getting in his face. And I'm honestly going to put it like this. I honestly don't think Jared Bowen thought Paqueta was that much of an idiot. Like, he's even there going like, all right, he's carrying on a bit. It's the typical footballer carry on. I get a card. What do you mean? The hands are flying. And I think eventually he thought, this guy's going to pipe down, because he's like, he was goading the ref into, I don't read lips or speak Portuguese, but he told him to F off at least 2 or 3 times. And the ref's copying it, I actually reckon the ref said, look, to not lose face, I have to give you a second yard. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. When you had the element that Lucas Paqueta's had this 2-year getting card deliberately scandal going on. And look, I didn't want to believe it because I love Lucas Paqueta. He's a great player, particularly when he plays for Brazil, and when he's on, he's on. But when I watch that, I'm like, man, you're going to struggle to beat those allegations when I see shit like that. And then he gets on the whole thing after the game going, oh yeah, I've had no support during this thing. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. That was just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I think even Bowen, like, I don't think you can blame Bowen because I think even Bowen's just like, all right, you're going to stop eventually. And he didn't. Allison tried. It was an absolute shambles.
It was a shambles. I think the first thing I'll say at the whole situation was the first yellow card, I think, is poor refereeing. I think it's poor refereeing. You know, this is a rough and tumble game. You know, we've got people from different cultures from all around the world who express themselves in different ways. And yes, there's a respect that needs to be upheld 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But the referee could have walked over to him and went, hey, look, pipe it down. The referee was 20 yards away when he booked him in the first place.
Mm.
And I just thought that really, I would have liked to see more strength from the referee to go over, like Kalina would have done, and go over and go, hey, that's it. And I think what sparked from that was just, it was the craziest reaction from a football player I've ever seen. And I'm not saying he got sent off for any other reason, right?
Of course.
Yeah, because I don't want to get sued, right? But he wanted to get sent off.
I could not agree more.
Right.
I could not agree more.
He had it in his head, I don't care what's happening here. Any player at any time can do anything on a football pitch, react. David Beckham did it against Argentina. He kicked Simeone, got sent off. Stupid. But it was a snap decision. This happened over like 30 seconds.
That's what made it so weird. Yeah, that's what made it so weird. It was unnecessary. Like, yeah, as you said, it wasn't a brain snap. And it was just a weird spectacle. It was very, very, very strange. You're right. And then he cops it, walks straight off, which I thought was weird as well. But then he has the little blow up near the touchline. It was very strange, particularly, and I'm not saying he did, as you said, don't want to get sued either, but particularly because it was this individual and the stuff that people alleged that he did, which I think they've now dismissed. It just wasn't a good look. It was very strange. And as you said, it was the weirdest 30-second, 40-second thing I've ever seen. Like, I did not know what was going on. Yeah, you're right. It looked like he wanted to get sent off. It was very, very odd.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, we won't stay on this too long, but we also had a similar betting incident with Ivan Toney and Tonali. And what I would say is that obviously none of us want our football players gambling on football matches, right? Especially games that they're involved with. But gambling's a serious addiction. And I think it does raise a very good point. Something for us to think about is the English FA and are the football federations doing enough to support people with these problems? Because just because you're an excellent footballer doesn't mean you can't have an addiction to another thing. So it's just food for thought. It's food for
well said.
thought. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Backing me on that.
Yeah, definitely well said.
Good man, good man. I'm glad you're on. Our kids will be giving me shit now. If you're a Liverpool fan and you want to win a signed Jamie Carragher shirt from 2005 Istanbul, then this is for you. This is an absolutely perfect gift for yourself for Christmas or for someone that you love. Have a look on the post, see how you can enter. It's super simple, and good luck. Right, we will talk about Sunderland, Leeds, and we will finish on Reds trivia, or as Jack likes to call it, take it to the max. I'd like to do a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, Cheers Bar in Sydney and Cafe in Newcastle. Both homes to the supporters clubs. They're both venues, but the supporters clubs go there. And they're great supporters of the podcast. They've been amazing. So if you go to those venues, you'll see all our posters up. So thank you for the ongoing support, because it's great, really. You know,
Awesome.
It's great. Thank you to Redboat Ventures, who are our production partner. When we got started, I had no kit or nothing. I had nothing. And they lent us loads of kit. They were,
awesome. Yeah.
they were absolute legends. And I would like to touch on a bit of a more serious note. So a Red in our community, Paul Harrington. So you might know him. He had a page, Red's Collections Down Under. And it was great, really. Like you could like buy a ticket and win like a signed shirt or something. It was a really good place. You could get all like your sort of signed merch and stuff from there. So Paul's been going it rough at the minute, and he's doing a Movember. So by the time you see this podcast, Movember will be over, but the link will still be active. So I was speaking to him. He sent me a text. I asked him to describe what's happening for him. He said he was diagnosed with prostate cancer back in August. I had no symptoms, and I wouldn't have a clue that I had it not been for going for regular blood tests. I do this because my dad had it a few years ago, and I urge any guys of 40 or over to get checked out. It's as simple as having a blood test. So I'm going to put the link for that in the show notes. If you've got a spare dollar, throw it in there, because it's a really, really good cause. And he's one of our community who's doing it a little bit tough at the minute. But up the Reds, Paul. You never walk alone, lads.
Absolutely.
We're backing you, mate. Sunderland up next. They sit sixth in the Premier League, which is bonkers. It's as bonkers as that Paqueta red card. Sort of an interesting team. They've got a lot of fight in them. 17 goals they've scored, 13 against. It sort of shows that they're getting results, but they're certainly not thumping teams by any stretch. Are you expecting them to finish high, or are you? We're not even a third of the way through.
No, I know. I think any Sunderland fan would have taken survival first season back, but they've been a great story, because when I think Premier League, proper Premier League, I think Sunderland. I just think of the Great Escape. I think of Di Canio on the sideline when they would always beat in the relegation, but they'd always beat Newcastle. And I think having them in the league is always better having them in the Premier League. And they've been an awesome story. And you put it perfectly. They have this fight in them. Saw it last weekend when they played Brentford. They find a way. Not Brentford, sorry. It was Bournemouth. Bournemouth. Yeah, they find a way. They're very entertaining. And it's another one that it's a banana peel of a game, because I would have backed us to beat Forest, and we didn't. And this is one of those teams that they're coming to Anfield, even though they're sixth, they have nothing to lose, and they've knocked off big teams away from home before. They beat Chelsea. So it's a very, very interesting game. The Fabio Borini derby.
Yeah. Oh, Fabio, man. Remember that celebration?
Yeah. He didn't do it too many times for Liverpool, but he did it a few times for them.
Yeah, he did do it. He did. You know what? Actually, he did it in that 2014 season, I think. The Slit, which I was also at, by the way.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, man. I've had me ups and me downs as a Red. I was sitting behind the goal as Demba Ba ran towards me and Simon Mignolet. And I would have had more chance of saving it than Simon. No, I like Simon Mignolet. But Barini, yeah, you know, I liked him.
Yeah, I think he always ran it, played with his heart on his sleeve. I think that's a good way to describe it. He always did. And I remember he scored in a Europa League third round qualifier against Gommel, I think, and then he got injured. Injuries ruined his, and then he got loaned out. He was great that season at Sunderland, and he came back and was part of that post-Suarez trio.
Yeah, the less we say about
yeah,
that.
Exactly right. But Fabio Borini derby.
Yeah, the Fabio Borini derby. All right, let me ask you about the starting lineup, because the starting lineup, mate, worked.
Yes.
Against West Ham. It will be a different sort of setup by Sunderland. Sunderland they're gonna have Xhaka in the midfield, who's having a good season. He's the lead assister in the Premier League this season. Is Granit Xhaka. He's pulling up trees even at his age. I say that, I think he's younger than me, but you get what I'm saying. Is the game to really overpower them in the midfield?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be a game that, if we win, it'll be a game where we control a lot of possession. And I wonder if, I'm sure he will. Does Salah come back into the team? Like, is that probably the only change you make? What are you thinking, lineup wise? You're right. Joe Gomez was fantastic. And although when he's played it right back, he's been fantastic as well. But Szoboszlai, I prefer that. I prefer the balance of the team with Szoboszlai in midfield. Joe, that was a nice Joe Gomez throwback performance to 2019, you know, when he just put a clinic on the, thinking back his England days when he pocketed Neymar. That looked good. The back line looked solid. Yeah, I wonder, does Salah come in? Maybe that's the only change you make. Do you give Isak? It's so hard because, like Ekitike has been so good.
Yeah.
And he's been so effortlessly good. Like he just, man, he's cooler than the other side of the pillow. He makes everything look easy. You know, everything about him, he's so cool. And we've been the opposite of that this season. We look so frantic and nervous and shambolic, and he is just cool. Does he maybe come back into the team? Or when do eventually we start having a series of games where Isak starts playing every game? Because he has to eventually. We spend too much money on him not to. Do we try again for a sustained period of time, having them both in the team, Ekitike and Isak? And when does Mo come back into the starting team?
I think for me, what I would do is I would keep the same 11 for a couple of different reasons. Mm-hmm. I thought the 11 were great. By the way, I thought Curtis Jones against West Ham was fantastic.
Yeah, he was great. He was really, really good.
Fantastic. And when we went 2-0 up, we were still a bit frantic, and you could see him on the pitch with his arms. Whoa.
Yeah, he was a calming presence. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So, look, I think I would keep the team. I would keep the same 11 if everyone's fit. I think the reason is I think it's a great confidence boost from the gaffer to say, right, you lads went and won me that game. I'm going to back you to go and win it for me again.
Mm.
I think that what that also gives you as well is if it's 1-0, if it's 1-1 or we're getting beat 1-0 and it gets to 60 minutes and then you look down on the touchline and he's making 2 changes, Ekitike and Salah are coming on. Fuck, man, that gives the ground a massive boost. Massive, massive boost. Like, you know, I think sometimes having a star player on the bench causes problems. But I think we all accept that Mo's not been the best. So people won't be turning up to the ground going, oh, I can't believe he hasn't picked Salah. No, I don't think anyone will be saying that. But what it will give is we need a goal. And we're like, it's going to be all right because Mo and Ekitike are coming on.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think Mo is such a pro as well. He doesn't seem like, maybe he does behind the sscenes, but he doesn't seem like the type of, like a dressing room cancer or a sulker where his sulking is going to be contagious. And you're right. And it's funny, we were speaking about stats not telling the true story before. Mo is that type of player where you can throw him on, you can start him, whatever. He can have the biggest stinker for 89 minutes, but he just needs one moment. And you're right. And if you turn to him, we're 1-0 down, which we're hopefully not, and you throw him on, I don't think there's a better double substitution that you could make than Hugo and Mo, and then maybe Federico Chiesa as well gets a little 10 minutes at the end and does what he's been doing, which is run his socks off, get in attacking positions. But I would not be against that at all. We've got a lot of games coming up as well. So I wouldn't be against same 11, and then maybe he makes a couple changes for the Leeds game a few days later.
Yeah, well, that's it, because let's talk about that one now. Oh, let's do predictions first, Sunderland.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to say we win 3-1.
3-1. You know what? I'm feeling quite good about it, you know.
Okay.
I was going to say 3-1. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say 2-1.
Okay.
But I do think the Reds will win. I really do. I really do. And I've been honest on this podcast. I've said, if I didn't think we were going to win, I've said, oh, look, I think a draw.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, I think a draw might do here or whatever. But I do think we'll go and win that football match. We'll talk about Leeds in a second, but do remember, we are going to do Reds trivia at the end, which is quite popular. People like it. People send me messages. I got 3 out of 5 and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool.
It's great, man. And then right at the end there, we're going to have a section of the podcast with George Sephton. So do stay tuned for that one. And if you haven't seen our Chris Kirkland special, what are you doing? Go back and watch that, because it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Leeds United. As it stands, so obviously there's a game in between this, but as it stands, they've had 4 straight defeats in the Premier League. Although they had a cracking performance there against against Manchester City, and they were really unlucky. But they have conceded 25 goals, which isn't the highest amount in the Premier League, but it's a lot.
It is. I feel, interestingly, I feel more confident heading into this game than I do the Sunderland game. I think we're thinking ahead now, even though it's only a week away, but I think if we get a win, the confidence, as you said again, let's say Wirtz plays well again, hopefully gets a goal, Isak gets another goal, I think then we're really rolling. And I would be good. They were really unlucky not to get something against Manchester City. And you're right, they concede a lot of goals. Should be a very entertaining game. It could be anything. It could be the most ugly. I'll take ugly at the moment. I really don't. I don't care how we do it. It's a very, like, I thought we'd be comfortable against Nottingham Forest. So who knows? Like who knows? But I think if we win, the momentum, as you said, key plays that we need to have confidence and getting momentum, I think that'll really start rolling. And then we can look at the ladder and be like, oh, wow, we're 5th. Just like that. Like, that's how volatile it is, and that's how quickly it can change.
Yeah, and let's not us all forget either, with that Arsenal draw against Chelsea this week, it's gone back to 9 points. Another week's football, you never know. Like, it's a crazy world, this football. Elland Road, mate, tough place to go, proper football club, proper fans. The atmosphere is going to be crackling. It's going to be like bonfire night. Is it a night for some of the more experienced heads? Would you bring Salah in? Would you bring Robbo in for that?
Yeah, you know what? You've actually convinced me, because I was of the opinion that maybe Mo comes in for this coming game against Sunderland, but I agree with you. I think you want to probably roll out the same 11, get the confidence of those players, then you roll out your vets, because you want to go away from home and you don't care how you do it. You're right. Leeds fans, they're going to be frothing to get Liverpool at Elland Road. I think that's when you have a Robbo, you have your pros, you have a Mo, and we get it however we can get it. Get out of there with 3 points, 9 in a week. And as you said, Arsenal now, we're out. The pressure is solely, we've had our 20th. I've seen Liverpool win a league in COVID, and I've seen Liverpool win a league with fans. The pressure is solely on them, which is fantastic for us. Because as you're right, like, it felt like we were 20 points off, and you look, 9 points. Okay, we have 6 points up for grabs here. We could be waking up this time next week and it's 5 points, or 6 points, or 3 points. So it could change. All the pressure is on them. You know, it's theirs to lose. Definitely. We're the little horse in the race, as Jose Mourinho once said many years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, we're in such a position where Arsenal would have been thinking about us non-stop. At the start of the season, Liverpool. You could see that the way they came to Anfield and played. And now they won't be thinking about Liverpool at all. And look, I'm not saying Liverpool are going to go and win the league. I'm saying we're going to win the treble. No.
We're going to win the Champions League is what you're saying. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that, I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but I don't think it's impossible at all for us to be in and around it. Just in and around it, because if Liverpool can get to Christmas and it's 5 points, Bob's your uncle.
100%.
You've still got to play Arsenal again, and things are different. And you're hoping by that point, obviously, we're back on form. We're going to beat your Evertons. We're going to beat your Man United. We're going to give City a better game at Anfield. So, look, there's room for optimism, realism. I get it. But let's be optimistic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I think we could be like what City were to us those years under Klopp, which is, it might be 9 points, it might be 13 points, it could be whatever it is, but we could very easily, we have the chance to do it now, just rattle off 5 straight wins like it's no one's business. We'll do it with, you guys get all, you guys, they remind me very much of Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, where they're just now, they are so close. They keep signing players. They seem like this team is ready to win the league. But with that comes, when was the last time they won? 21 years? It's a long time. What comes with that? A lot of pressure. Beautiful. Let them have all the pressure, and we'll just low-key, like what Pep used to do to us, just rattle off 6, 7 straight wins, just like, and then, as you said, if we are within 5 points, gosh, even in April, I would say we're still a massive chance. So I'm not writing off this season at all yet. Baby steps. And look, even the Champions League, I'm not writing that off either because apart from the PSV game, we look great in the Champions League. And after seeing how bad PSG were in the league phase last year, they almost missed out. And then they just flicked another gear. Why can't we?
Yeah, I agree. I think as long as you get to them knockout stages, you've got to crack a win in it. There is a slight advantage of finishing in the top 4 in that group because it means you get the home second leg, which is obviously what you're after, especially if you're Liverpool. Right, we're gonna grab a quick drink. When we come back, it's Reds trivia.
Let's go.
Like, get your pens and pencils out, Reds. Okie dokie, then it's time for Take It to the Max.
Great name.
Yeah, well, so there's a reason. So Max, who helps us, he's like in our support crew on the podcast. He is part of the supporters club in Newcastle. And when we said we were going to do trivia and stuff, he was like, oh, that's a good idea. So the first time we did it, I called it Take It to the Max to take the piss. But then my brother really liked it, so it stuck. And Max was like, oh, I don't really like Take It to the Max. And we're like, we don't care. We don't care.
It's his name now.
It's branded. So it's 5 questions. Reds, I'll ask the questions, write them down or whatever, and then we'll do the answers. Are you ready, Adamo?
Let's do it.
Okay. Before Kirkes and Szoboszlai, who was the last Hungarian to play for LFC? Oh.
Hang on. Before Szoboszlai?
So what I will say on this one,
yeah.
is,
I know a Hungarian. I just want to know if there was one between him. Has there been a lot of them? Can you give me a hint? Has there been a lot of them?
I think all in there's been 5. So there was actually 2 who played in the 2000s.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, hang on. Let me just get the brain ticking. Hungarian. You know what? I think it was this guy. He didn't play much for us. Oh, you know what? You're not going to tell me. Okay.
I'm not going to tell you.
No, exactly.
It's Take It to the Max. It's the hardest Reds trivia out there.
In the world. Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
in the world, yeah. Okay, question number 2. Who did Liverpool sign Maxi Rodriguez from? What
a fucking player he was as well.
Great player, man. Great song. Great song. One of the best songs of any Liverpool player ever. But where did we sign him from? It's funny, because when I think of him in this kit. I don't actually think of him in a Liverpool kit at all.
Okay.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was who did we sign Maxi Rodriguez from. Question number 3. Who did Xabi Alonso score against from his own half in the FA Cup 2006? Who did Xabi Alonso score against from his own half in the FA Cup 2006?
Mm-hmm.
You feeling good on that one?
Yeah, but I think I got it wrong. I think I'm having shockers in this one. Anyway, let's see.
You never know.
You never know.
But remember, it is the ultimate
hardest,
Reds
yeah,
trivia.
exactly right. Yep.
That I write 30 minutes before you arrive. Question number 4. Which Liverpool manager won the first European Cup?
Yeah.
And by European Cup, I mean the Champions League, the equivalent. Which Liverpool manager won the first European Cup? That was question number 4. And number 5, who is our current number 22?
Ooh.
Who is our current number 22? So there you go. We've got a eclectic bunch of questions there, Adamo.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
I don't know. It's one of those. It could go either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you be happy with out of 5?
3.
Okay.
I'll take a 3.
Yeah. Okay, mate.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Well, let's see.
Can I tell you what I got? Sorry, you say it and I'll.
Yeah.
It was Adam Bogdan, wasn't it?
Before Kirkes and Szoboszlai, who was the last Hungarian to play for Liverpool FC?
It was.
You said Peter Galaxy. Galaxy. You were wrong.
It was Adam Bogdan.
It was Adam Bogdan.
Let's go! All right, monkey off my back. You know what? Monkey off my back. I'm happy now. You know what? I met him. And he's actually I met him on the last day when I went over there. He was in the media section and he came over a bit like Goalkeepers Union is the thing. I was with Mark Schwarzer. They came over, brothering on, He's like, they were chatting for ages. He introduced himself, he was an awesome guy. Left, and Mark's like, you know who that was? And I'm like, of course I remember Adam Bogdan. And I mean, he was at Bolton too. He still has that ginger helmet, that Lego helmet. And of course, Peter Klasky, was great after, fantastic at RB Leipzig. But yeah, Adam Bogdan, I don't think he played too many games. He played 2 games maybe, but
I think he played 6 games in his time at Liverpool.
he was great at Bolton though, wasn't he?
Great at Bolton.
Great, yeah.
Because he went in there after UC Ashkelon, didn't he?
Yep, that's right.
And UC was a fantastic goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And he probably should have played at a higher level. But he was in that sort of difficult time, UC as well, where, even Shay Given was playing for Newcastle and he went to City later, but Shay Given could have easily played for one of the top clubs.
Definitely.
But there was good goalkeepers. Right, let's carry on. Question number 2. Where did Liverpool sign Maxi Rodriguez from?
Benfica?
No, it was Atletico Madrid. Atleti he played for.
Of course.
I just remember him in that.
Benfica after?
He
Benfica at all?
He went to Espanyol.
That's right. And he was at Boca. I was going to put Boca off Benfica, so I was wrong either way.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
So I don't know if he did play for Benfica.
Yep.
Question number 3. Who did Xabi Alonso score against from his own half in the FA Cup 2006?
Newcastle United?
So he did score against Newcastle United from his own half, but that was in the Premier League later.
Oh! Hang on. Oh, no. Yeah. You know what? I've missed my chance, haven't I? Yeah, go on.
I was at that game as well.
Were you?
Yeah. He was in goal. It wasn't Shay Given. It was Steve Harper was in goal for Newcastle that day. Question number 4. Which Liverpool manager won the first European Cup?
Paisley.
It was Bob Paisley, of course it was, in 1977. He won a couple after that as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he certainly did. And number 5, who is our current number 22?
Hugo.
Yeah, it was Hugo Ekitike. All right, Reds, let us know how many you got. How many did you get?
I got 3. I'm happy with that.
Hey!
You know what? I'm happy with that because I'll consider the Newcastle one just that I wasn't thinking properly. Like I was thinking the 2005, I think, was the against Newcastle, wasn't it? It was the year before. Eagles.
2007, I think. Yeah. We had that Adidas kit with the collar, I think.
I remember I had a DVD and it was the Premier League season in review. And, I didn't have Foxtel at that time, so I used to just spam certain DVDs. One was the FA Cup final in 2006 against West Ham. Another one was like, the night in Istanbul, and it was this whole road to it DVD that they made. And another one was this Premier League season in review, and there was a few seasons, and Xabi Alonso's goal was always shown. So I just remember that goal engraved in my head. Atleti's the one I'm filthy that I couldn't remember. I couldn't picture it. Boca, but yeah, of course, Atleti. What a player, man, Maxi Rodriguez. What one of those just, underrated ballers that we had and you forget that we had. From that era, we had Raul Morelos was another one where you just go like, right place, wrong time. Like right place, wrong time.
Yeah. Well, Raul went on to
win the Champions League
win the
with Chelsea.
Champions League with Chelsea.
Yeah,
He was a good player.
Man, he was really good.
But I don't think the way he left Liverpool didn't sit too well with me at the time. I thought it was a bit...
Okay, I saw a really interesting one. If you were at the game, would you boo Trent?
Right, so we talked about this. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Here's one. Okay, so I'm going to rattle off names and you tell me if you booed them or not.
This is great. Right, we're gonna cut this into a social clip, right? Go on, let's play Would Tom boo them?
Raheem Sterling.
I did boo them, yeah.
Yep. Luis Suarez.
I did boo him, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Martin Kelly.
Never.
That's great. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Absolutely.
Fernando Torres.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I would have too. I think that's yeah. So really, I'm getting the vibe. Okay, who didn't you boo?
Former players who I didn't boo. Well,
Michael Owen. Did he ever trod to Anfield when you were a kid? Your old man took you there and you let him know.
I never seen Michael.
Okay.
Against Liverpool in the ground. So when he went to United or Newcastle or Stoke, I never seen him in the ground. But if I was there in the ground when he was playing for Man United, I would have booed him. But what I would say about Michael Owen is, and I say it all the time, people forget Michael Owen is an absolute legend of our football club. I think, like, he won the Ballon d'Or. He was one of the key players in the treble season that we had. Like, and he said it himself, I think, he walks down the what's it called? The wall of champions that we've got in Anfield, and he looks on the wall and he goes, well, of all them trophies, I won so many of them, you know, so.
It's sad. And he scored so many goals as well. He was 160 or something crazy like that as well. You're right. It's one of those things. And the saddest thing is he's probably not of course he's a Liverpool legend, but you know what I mean? Like he's not adored universally by one fan base because he went to Real, which anyone would have done. And then he went to United and then he went to Newcastle and he's not universally loved. But I think the more that time goes on, I think he's overhated.
Oh, he's,
You know what? And even as a pundit, I actually think he's a good pundit. But he just, for some reason, like when he says things, everyone's just got to like, overhated. I think that's the perfect way to describe him. They just overhate him a little bit. I think he's a good pundit. And obviously as a player, I even see some people, they'll do blind rankings and they'll like out of 10 players and they'll put Michael Owen last. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. The only one though, I got to say, like watching as a fan in Australia, the only one, Raheem Sterling, booed through my TV screen, hated Raheem Sterling. Hated him so much, hated him. And then now, not so much, but Torres broke my heart. My iTunes password, because I don't know how to change it, still has Torres in there.
oh.
Yeah. So it's got numbers in there too. But anyway, it still has Torres. I love him that much. He broke my heart. The only one I couldn't though was Suarez. And he scored against us and celebrated in typical Suarez fashion, but I could never boo him. But you could. And I don't blame you for doing it too, but that was a strange one. Like that first game in the new camp was so strange. I think even Rio said it. Rio said after, I remember it vividly, he was like, this guy, you know, he scored against you and celebrated. How aren't you guys hating it? And it's like, it's fucking Luis Suarez. That's why, man. Like,
Yeah, I think as well. What happened was at Anfield was he took the kickoff in that game at Anfield. Obviously, he'd scored in the new camp. We were 3-0 down, and the Liverpool fans came out to play. Like we were, right, we're gonna give it this, and he took the kickoff. And I think he was surprised at the amount of boos around the stadium as he took the kickoff. I don't think he got more boos than any Barcelona player. That night.
I agree. He didn't get special boos because they all got booed.
Yeah.
And it would have been, well, because he also had the big chance right before halftime that Alisson saved.
Mm.
It would have been interesting to see if he had knowing him, he probably would have probably celebrated, but
Well,
man.
you know what? Like, I think there's I get why players don't celebrate. I get it. And I sort of, it's nice. But, like, if I sign you, Isaac, and you're wearing my badge, the same badge I wear, mate, if you score against Newcastle, you better
I hope he
celebrate.
I hope he hits him with that. That would be.
I hope he does one of them strippers, like, where you're throwing the money, making it rain. I hope he does that. It'd be amazing. Cause a riot.
Oh man, that would be that would be so good. That would be so good.
Yeah, so I don't mind it. Right before we showed the clip of George Sephton, mate, tell us about going to Anfield.
Oh, incredible. So I was at Optus last season and my boss comes up to me. He's like, hey man, would you be keen to go to Anfield? I'm like, are you joking? I'm like, I'll swim there. I'll swim there and work for free. They're like, yep, we're going to send you there. You're going to go for the trophy parade and just shoot a whole bunch of content for us and enjoy the game as well. I'm like, dream come true. I couldn't believe it. Man, I can't put into words what that experience was like. Because for an Australian football fan, you grow up watching these players and they're almost superhero-like. You watch them on TV at all hours. You wake up, you watch them in the Champions League. They don't feel real. Going there, and I was there with Mark Schwarzer, Socceroo, played at Anfield many, many times, was the architect of that shithouser in 2014. And he was just there telling me, he's like, man, when you get in there, it's gonna blow you away. And it blew me away. I could not. Oh, it was fucking incredible. Like just panning around. There's the cop. Here are the chants. Even the legendary ground announcer, the guy that sounds like this.
George Sephton.
Yeah, exactly. And it was his last. And it was his last game. And I'm like, man, that's I grew up. Me and my mates used to always mimic him. We always used to be like substitution for like our team, like Marcel and College Renwick. Like he's got that iconic. Like it was incredible. Like it was just everything about. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it was a dream come true. And going back to I've been to, when I was in Qatar, I went to the World Cup final. I got to go there. I was given a ticket by SBS. That was otherworldly. I watched the greatest World Cup final probably we're ever going to see. But going to Anfield, that was like years and years and years of watching this as a kid. It all just came to fruition. And then what made it even cooler was we're there the whole weekend. I think there was 1 million people that came, that were in Liverpool. So people that come all over the world. And I'm going to be honest, I was a little bit nervous purely because I'm like, I've heard stories, and this is why you always make your own assumption of people and places and things after you go. I've heard stories of, you're an outsider. Liverpool fans might be a bit, they're a bit funny with media and outside media. So I naturally was just a little bit, just on guard. It was also me and one other person, and we were interviewing mobs of people. Man, the Liverpool people were the fucking best. The best. Because also the stuff we were doing was very lighthearted as well. It was colour pieces. We were playing games, make all-time 11s, one-word game. What do you think of Alexander-Arnold? All that type of stuff. Real fun content. And they loved us. And then the funniest thing was that I was walking around with a mic head like this, and I had Optus Sport on there. Someone called out, Optus Sport. I'm like, whoa, there's no way he knows that. Yeah, mate, I've got you on the black box, So they had us on the old dodgy box. Man, we had about 50 people that came up to me like, man, we got you on the Fire Stick. You guys are the best. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So my experience was absolutely incredible. It was a dream come true. I can't even. I think that at that stage I was like, you can take me now because I've seen it all. Whether that was a huge bucket list, and to be there as well for that moment, like the city. Of course, Liverpool won in 2020, but we didn't get to celebrate. They didn't get to celebrate it either. The fans, the Liverpudlians that live there. So even speaking to them, they're like, yes, we did win in 2020, but that just didn't feel right because we didn't get to celebrate it. So it was so cool hearing all those stories. You see all the family connections. People like your old man. The father son, daughter. It was like generations of Liverpool fans, and that was so cool and so receptive and telling me their stories. It was a dream come true. And it was just, we did it in such a short window as well. The parade was unfortunately ruined, which was sad, devastating. It was such a sad end to what was such an amazing weekend. But all in all, man, that was one of I can already say it now, I'm only 28, but that'll be one of the greatest moments of my life.
Yeah, man. I remember, obviously because we're in Australia, right? There's lots of people who make content, and I'm actually really selective on the content I follow. I unfollowed you recently, but I followed you back because you were coming on this podcast. No one's joking. But I seen your content that you were making like on the pitch, and I was like, man, that's like a dream, man.
Oh, it was fun. It's one of those, like, you pinch it. I still can't even really believe it. Because we have all the media accreditation and it's something that it's like, it's so simple as well. So I'm just on the pitch and I'm like, what? And everyone's there, and you speak to people that are there, and they do this every single week, and I'm there, and I'm literally mesmerized by the grass. I'm like, I got to touch this. I think even Marshall's like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, I got to touch the grass. It's fucking insane. And I'm just there like staring. I'm like, whoa. And then I'm picturing myself like, no wonder players hate coming here, opposition players. It's so narrow, but then it's the way the cop is. It's almost like an amphitheater. The pitch is almost raised, and then I was like, the first level or like the couple rows of the cop. It's almost like you're looking down. It's fucking incredible. It is mind like it would have been one thing to do it as a stadium tour, which I still would have absolutely loved, and it would have been incredible. But to do it and it was full, and then everyone stayed for the trophy parade, and it was incredible. And then being probably 50 meters away from the parade, and they boom, it was, the streamers and the noise and just seeing the celebrations, and I'm just there just absorbing it, and you're seeing Virgil van Dijk just run around. And then I got to interview the grandma. She's like she was like a 100-year-old Liverpool fan, and she was there taking photos with all the players. All the players were coming up to her. She was like the queen, and all of them were coming up to her. And then I just went up to her, do you mind if I have an interview? Yeah. Interview. That video went absolutely insane. I think got over millions and millions of views. It was just an incredible experience. And as I said, and I always go back to this as well, it was like the people were so cool as well, and that made the experience so much cool. It was the most incredible weekend. Getting home was a disaster though. Getting back to our hotel, that was I think we basically walked from Anfield back to the city centre because you couldn't get a taxi.
Yeah, it's to be honest, Adamo, like on a busy match day anyway, it can be a nightmare on like a Saturday getting into the city from the ground anyway. So I can only imagine it because, like I've never seen us lift a major trophy.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been there on like the big title run-ins, the Chelsea game is a great example. You know, the Barcelona night, like big, massive European nights where it's electric before the game. But you know what I've never really had was it being electric after the game. Like,
Yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah.
you know, like beating Barcelona, everyone's coming out the ground, everyone's singing down the street, everyone's going to different pubs. My out fella's ringing me, you know, trying to speak to me about the game. Like, so I've had like amazing, don't get me wrong, amazing feelings coming out of Anfield, but you know, like it's still. Now I live in Australia, I think it's even more so, but like it's a dream for me to be there and experience
It
that.
was, and the party started a few days before. Like we got there so I actually landed in London the day Tottenham won the Europa League. So the plan was I was going to land in London. I landed first thing in the morning. I was going to get a train straight to Liverpool. I obviously didn't have reception or anything like that for about 24 hours. I am bombarded with messages. I couldn't watch the Europa League final because I was on a plane. My boss said, do not get on a train to Liverpool. Like, if you know, like in capital letters, stay in London. You're going to go to the trophy parade today for Tottenham. So I did. And that trophy parade was really cool too. You know, it was good. I captured a lot of content. But when you went to Liverpool, it was everywhere. Everywhere you went, every pub. So we got there on the Friday. Every pub from Friday. Monday was just forget about it because you couldn't move. I didn't have phone reception all day. I was in the city centre. I didn't have because there were that many people there that just cooked it. But from Friday to Sunday, every pub you walked into, you know that little square where the Liverpool store is, like that little show. We walked around there. You walk into one pub, people everywhere. It did not stop. It was, and then you're meeting people. We're from Australia. We're from Indonesia. We're from Thailand. It was so cool. Like that many people that just converged. And it felt like there was also that remnants of like, we didn't get to celebrate this in 2020, which made it even more special.
Absolutely. But like, if we win the league this year,
You're going over?
well, I'm already going in June, so don't tell where. But if we win the league this year, there'll still be 1 million people in Liverpool.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, I think you're right. I think there was definitely an element of the COVID season was definitely attached in that, you know. I was saying they should have had a second bus with a second trophy and get Jürgen on it and all that. So I get that. But definitely that's what, like, the trophy parade, like the one that for after Istanbul, was the first time
Yeah.
I'd seen the trophy, the treble trophy parade in 2001 was great, but I was only a kid. But I tell you what, mate, that Istanbul trophy parade.
Yeah. I remember seeing photos of that, and then you see the photos of even after Madrid in 2019, and you almost like, I've never seen, is that possible? I've never seen anything like this. And then, yeah, it just seems to be multiplying. You're right. Maybe even after we win this one, because we were down, because we were out, because we were written off, maybe that just wakes up another 100,000. I don't know where they come from. I don't know where they're going to fit. But it was incredible. And then also something that really stuck with me, which is really random, is Federico Chiesa's chant. Everyone, first of all, it's probably the greatest chant ever, in my opinion. It's such a catchy, it's so good. It's so creative. But everyone was singing. Like, if I had to say order of chants in the day, it was a pie graph of like the percentage of how much they were sung, I'd say 70% of the time Chiesa's chant was sung. It was so random, but so beautiful as well. It was cool.
Yeah, I think that one, the Luis Diaz one, was like, of all the videos I've seen, the Luis Diaz one was going bonkers as well. If you ever get a chance in your lifetime, get yourself to a European Cup final, go to a fan park.
Yeah, okay.
Man, it'll be one of the best experiences.
I'd
of your
love
life.
to.
Oh,
Love
man.
to. Maybe you come with me, bro.
Yeah, oh man, 100%.
Work's not going to be happy, but you know,
Yeah.
June it worked out well.
Yeah.
Where's the final? Is it in London again?
No, it's in Budapest. Fancy Budapest?
Never been.
Oh, I'd love
Never
to
been.
go.
That'd be very nice. Invite Adam Bogdan. Maybe you can.
Hey, I
You can
tell
do it on
you
the
what.
ground. We can get every Hungarian Liverpool player to roll through at some stage.
Man, it's a dream. It's a dream.
Oh, so good.
Okay. We're gonna show the George Sephton clip now, and then we'll drift off into the abyss. I just wanted to ask you one more quick question. Quite a few of our followers are content creators,
Yes.
and you're sort of in a way like living their dream in some ways, doing the TV work, doing all these exciting things. If you had one piece of advice to give to those content creators who are just starting out or building their profile, what would you say?
I would say the most important thing, and it sounds a little bit cheesy, is be yourself. And it's so easy, particularly in Australia, when you want to become a presenter or you want to do reporting, radio, whatever it is, we fall into this trap of, oh, I got to sound like this guy. I got to act a certain way. We got to sound, they all have that reporter voice. I got this, given me this vibes. Before I did my first thing with being sports, it was from my best friend, Claudio, his older brother. He said, Adamo, just go out there and be yourself. And I thought to myself, I'm like, that sounds so simple, but I find it actually really hard because you know what? I'm really loud. And I've been told that by lots of camos and stuff like that. Man, you're really loud. Like when I do your sound, I have to bump it down a notch. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be loud because that's what I'm like. And I'm that type of kid. I was always like that at school. I was, easily distracted and distracts others. I was always loud. I'm loud because I love this game and it's the best game in the world. So my advice to you is be yourself. And this thing right here is the golden tool. It's the golden tool to get you comfortable. Whatever your passion is, if your passion is you want to be a presenter, start making something. Start making football videos, start a TikTok. If you want to write, start a blog. Whatever your passion is, just start it because you don't know who's watching. You don't know where it can take you. There's so many possibilities now with the world that we live in. And people social media, has its faults, but it also creates a lot of avenues for people that want to make careers. Like, look at podcasts like this and super successful podcasts and the amount of football opportunities you can get with brands and broadcasters. And so my advice to you, I gave 2 then, is be yourself. And if you want to start something, just start it.
There you go. Thanks so much, mate. Next week we've got Tan Talks on, which is a great page. If you don't follow her,
She's fantastic.
She's great, man.
She's the best.
I love her.
Awesome. She's the best.
Yeah, she's so much fun, man. She's such great value. So she's going to be on next week. We've got loads to talk about. From that side of things. And I'd love to get a perspective as well because we've got the Women's Asia Cup coming to Australian shores very soon. So I know she's a big Matildas fan as well. Adamo, mate, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure, brother. Anytime.
Oh, man. It was nice, wasn't it?
It was very nice.
It was like going down memory lane. We've never met.
It was good fun. I know it was very, very good fun. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Oh, mate, you're welcome anytime. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone for watching, listening, anything that you do. Please do keep supporting us. Give us a subscribe and a follow and all that sort of stuff. And here is a section of our podcast with George Sephton. 54 years as the stadium announcer at Anfield. And I'm just so built into my psyche as a Liverpool fan of what it is to be a Liverpool fan. He talks about Klopp. He talks about his thoughts on Brendan Rodgers, Roy Hodgson. He tells a story about Bill Shankly, which is a great story. So he's just an absolute legend. So enjoy this part of the podcast. We're going to make a post on our Instagram. If you comment on the post on Instagram for George Sephton, I'll DM you a link to the full podcast. And if not, it'll come out next Tuesday to everyone. But why not watch it now? Up the Reds.
Up the Reds. Let's go.
What your favourite fixture was as an announcer?
Oh, Barcelona. The night we beat them 4-0 and got to that was far and away the best night footballing was of my life. We turned up 3-0 down from the first leg. 2 of our star players are crocked. We've got no chance of getting through. Well, we had an early goal, 2 more just after half time, and then that famous corner taken quickly. I remember that. I can still see it now, that when Trent took that corner, Dirk Origi scored. But I didn't say anything. And I thought the referee's going to make us take that again. And then I'm looking and thinking, hang on, he isn't. We've scored. It's 4-0. And that night, just everybody was in absolute ecstasy. And the people who were there, they'll be telling their grandkids that story for years. I was there that night because Barcelona were the best team on the planet at the time, and we gave them a good hiding. And that was something else to watch. But that's definitely the best night.
Yeah, they've never been the same since after Barca.
No, it shook them to the core, didn't it? And I think it was.
Absolutely.
I don't think Trent took that quick corner. I think we've all decided it's Andy Robertson now. We've changed our minds on that one, George. Reds, thank you so much for watching. Do keep an eye out for that George Sephton podcast. It was an absolute cracker. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget, we've got a Chris Kirkland special that we did recently, which is an absolutely brilliant podcast, and he really opens up about his Liverpool career and his battles with mental health. Up the Reds.